have just about some more people bouncing in and out. So what we're going to cover today is I'm going to go over some of the campaign settings. And I ran some ads on the Only Thing shirt that we were talking about last week, and I was able to finally get into the Hotjar account. And again, if you guys have not signed up for that, it is a must at this point. I learned a lot from some of the things that I saw. I had to change some settings in the campaign to make it clearer for people. I saw a lot of people clicking on certain things, and some hopefully some bugs that I'm going over with the development team that I'm hopefully to get fixed. I'm not sure if it's a global thing or what, or if it was just on my site that we were testing from, but we finally start getting some conversions. And probably, with some of the things that I saw due to, I'm not sure if they were bugs or just the way the page was set up, probably could have had double those conversions. The good thing is that we were able to probably just about break even. We had some organic sales. The ad did really well, but I cut off most of those single interest ads right away and started seeing some conversions come in on about 2 to 3 interests, and kind of just worked with those. But again, we were testing. I was able to find out a lot of stuff, and so I want to kind of go through that. I know I said I was going to do a recording last week of how exactly to set up your campaign, and to make sure that it is easiest until we as a team come together and try to fix a couple of the little things, but we want to make it as easy for people to check out, and once they add something to the cart and pick a size, that we want to get them to that to the cart page and to checkout. So I'm just going to go over that step by step, so that way I don't have to do a separate recording, and I'll put this stuff in the members area. One quick question, Timothy's asking whatever happened with Canvas shoes. I don't know if, what's going on with that. I'm not sure if Randy's looked into that or not. He will be on the call a little bit later to kind of give us an update on some other things, so we'll ask him that when he hops on and see if he's kind of research that a little bit. So we'll find out from Randy. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into it right off the bat. Before we get started, in case, let me show my screen here. And Kevin, can you see my screen? Or can you guys see my screen? Just let me know.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Again, right off the bat here, if you guys haven't picked up any of these designs, we've been like I said, there was a couple issues with some of the download links. I think we Rio and got it fixed up, so I just wanted to put this link for those of you who haven't seen it. We got a lot of cool little youth shirts with personalized youth shirts for Easter. We're doing the Easter Bunny stuff, the Christian stuff. We're kind of doing mom stuff, obviously, for Mother's Day, and a lot of these personalized Bible covers here. A lot of really cool designs that you can check out, and for Mother's Day, and you can kind of turn a lot of this into kind of Christian type stuff, but also kind of tying it into Easter. And so just some stuff, if you guys want to check it out, I'm going to put the link in here again. And I know quite a few of you have already purchased this, so I'm hoping to see some good case studies and some good winning designs. I'm going to put that link in there right now, okay? And then also, I'm just while I'm thinking of it and people are kind of joining in, I'm going to put in, let's see, the link to the campaign button images. And I know a lot of this stuff was kind of covered in Matthew's video, but I'm just going to make it easy for you guys now and give you that link now so you have it. I'm going to also put that in here. And as you'll see, we'll kind of go, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about as we're moving forward. Okay, so moving on. So, this was the campaign here, and so I just want to kind of go step by step on the actual campaign settings. I'll kind of check back for questions as I go, or if Kevin, if you see anything pop up while I'm kind of talking here, you can just jump in and just ask me. But so a couple of the things that I wanted to make sure that you guys understood, as far as this is now, obviously this was a funnel campaign, and so we wanted to remember on a funnel campaign, or even really this can kind of translate over to a regular campaign. I just wanted to give them two simple options. Both of this design looked really good on black and purple, and so I wanted to add that in there. Okay, so I originally, when in some of the video that Matthew did, we kind of had up here the product details, and I kind of got rid of that, and I'll show you why in a second here. But again, so basically what we're doing, and as far as I can see, the way I have this set up really came across really well on mobile. It all flowed very well on desktop and mobile, and it was really important because a lot of the traffic came in from mobile. And so when you look at this on your mobile phone, and what I can do is just actually put this in the chat here so you guys can check it out on your mobile phone too. You want to make sure that everything flows as people are reading, going down the page. On desktop, it's obviously a much bigger like this. You have your footer down here. It kind of gives you quality guaranteed, all that stuff, and it pretty much flows pretty easily. But on mobile, is what I noticed is that we wanted to make sure that everything makes sense. So when you're telling people up here to click small images, you want to make on mobile, that's gonna be you want to make sure that all flows so they're not going up and down the page like this. I saw a lot of that before I made some of these changes, and just kind of confused. And then really what it comes down to is, especially if you're targeting like grandmas and older demographic, you have to make sure that this step-by-step is very clear and concise. And so a lot of the problems that I saw is they came to the page, they weren't exactly sure how to do it. Are seeing a lot of issues with this select size thing here, so we're going to get this fixed here, where we may even just change this whole format completely. But having the select size and a price right here seemed to confuse a lot of them, and they were clicking on this, kept clicking on it, not understanding that even though the sizes are right beneath, it just kind of confused them, and before you knew it, they were off the page. So what I wanted to do and just really show some of the changes that I made to help people along the process if you're doing a personalized design. Now, if you're advertising something non-personalized, obviously this is, a lot of stuff is not going to apply, but looking at the ad and the amount of shares that we had and things like that, I mean, they really, really loved it. They loved the colors. They loved how they can put their name in. So this is kind of really based on personalized design. And obviously, if you're doing something not personalized, you won't have a lot of these steps. But I just wanted to take you through it so we have it all in a video for you. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with this one. I gotta go back to campaigns here, and I'm gonna show you where we edited things and kind of how I changed it up a little bit. Okay, so starting off in the right column one, this is where you want your first directions. Okay, what I did up here is I put, I kind of did the whole 100% printed made, shipped from the USA. If you limited edition type of thing, but I actually took some of the copy out because really that's all good and stuff like that to kind of give them trust, but really what I noticed from the videos is that they were trying to read the directions, and I wanted to make it simple as possible for them to read through the steps, get their name up, and hit the add to cart button. Because once they hit the add to cart button, I was seeing a lot of that's when we really started getting the conversions, but a lot of traffic came and seemed to be a little bit confused. So really I just started like this in the right column one to order. Oops, I just hit update, sorry about that. Okay, to order, follow the simple steps below. Step 1, click the small images to select your color, okay? So originally we had the product, we thought maybe putting the product description up here would be a good idea to eliminate some of the copy on the right side of the page or on the underneath, and that was good. But then if you do have one or if you have more than one option, you really kind of have to have that product description from your products in here so they can make sure that they're clicking on the right one. So if you have just one, you probably won't need to do this. If you want to offer more than one color, which I would probably stick to just one or two on a campaign, then you might want to, where I wanted to actually put this back on the page, but I kept it away from the right side where all this stuff is on desktop. And on mobile, it looked really good because it showed up underneath, okay? So what I did is click the small images to select your color, okay? Step 2, enter your grandma nickname in the box below and click preview button next to it. Really important. Watching the videos, you really want to make sure that they know that they have to make sure they come in here. They're not going to see their nickname unless obviously they type it in here. So whatever you make this preview button say, make sure that you emphasize that in your directions when you're saying it. So originally I had, you know, preview your grandma nickname, and I didn't have that over here. I just had preview. So again, those two things, little things, seem to confuse them. So I simply put it real easy. Click the preview button next to it. Okay. So I put that in there. Right under there, if you are doing a personalized design, obviously you want to have that short code for that box to show up. So %, right underneath. Okay. And then in the right column 1, that's all you want. Okay, so we have these two things, these three things really. You have your description, the two directions there, and then you have them with the grandma nickname and name preview. For those of you that don't know where that is, you go down to page styling. You're going to see, obviously, in the first name placeholder, you want to make sure that you have the correct thing. So if they're entering a grandma nickname, this is where you want it. Okay. And then this %form button text, that's where you want to put preview. Okay, so I ended up going with preview. When I changed it, that's when we started getting a few conversions. So I just kept it like that. And as you can see over here, it says preview. Make sure you tell them that they have to click that button or they won't. You would think they would, but according to those Hotjar videos, they just don't understand. And so you want to make sure you give them step-by-step directions in there. Okay. So then we're kind of moving down. In right column 2, I don't have anything. In right column 3, we actually have step 4. Okay, so if you look over here, step 4 is actually underneath step 3. Now, we did explain this in the funnel training videos, but I wanted to emphasize how I changed this. Normally, we just had step 3. What we ended up doing to make it a little bit easier and less confusing on the page, we made, and I'll come back to step 4, we made step 3 actually in the page styling. Okay, so in the size drop-down label, you're able to add some text in here. Okay, and the reason why you want to add it here in the size drop-down label under page styling is because it gives you it places it right here. Normally this would just be, you know, be sure to select your size or whatever with the size guide link, but we actually decided to put step 3 here because it shows up right above the select size. Okay, now normally I just had select your size in the box below. What they did is, and this is what's confusing some people, is that the select size in the 1995, they don't think that this is like an actual where you actually have to select your size. So what I did is I made sure I put a little, you know, star, you know, fix that, star, important, all in caps, so they understand once they get to that, once they've entered their grandma nickname, their next step is, this is really important, select your size in the box below, okay? And that seemed to really help when they were actually, that helped them direct them that this is an important step. You want to make sure that you select your size in the box below. So I think by getting rid of this text select size and this price, this is going to be much easier for them to understand. So that's how I changed that. So what, again, I just entered step 3, important, stars, however you want to, you know, kind of make it stand out. Select your size in the box below. Okay. Now moving back up to the columns here. Now that's when we have step 4. So remember, this is the front end of the campaign. So you have a couple extra steps because you're clicking which color you want, shirt, and so that kind of adds an extra step. Now step 4, I have it in right column 3. Click the add to cart button below. I kind of bolded that, and then you will be taken to the cart. You will be taken to the cart page. Originally we had something different, like add the button below, and this is where you can order yours. And so I originally had that, and I think that confused them. So when people were trying, I saw them, if they were trying to click on this little thing here, and they were not actually clicking, this wasn't really working for them, even though it should. they were having issues with that. So I wanted to make sure that I bolded, click the add to cart button below, and you will be taken to the cart page. I did make a different here with the blue one, and I took out the PayPal. And in that drop box, you guys have access to all that now. So in case if you are running a funnel campaign, you want to make sure that you use the one without the PayPal link. Okay. So those are the 4 main steps on this. Like I said, I want you to check it out on mobile. I also included these graphics in the Dropbox. And again, what I forgot to do, and I'll add it here, is I'm going to add the code that I use, because Matthew kind of originally set this up, and he added a code so it makes sure that you can have all this stuff side by side. And in the video, you'll see in that video when we're setting up our front-end campaign, he shows you how to make sure to change the URLs if you do want to use these buttons. You don't have to if you use these images, but if you want to, he shows you how to change the URL. I'm not going to get into that right now. And obviously how to change the URL if you want to use all the contact us, terms of service, privacy. Just make sure that all of this stuff takes you to a page that makes sense. Okay. So those are the things that I have just for getting them to add to cart. Now, what I saw almost on 90% of the videos is that women really do care about, customer guarantee, and they want to know how they can get a hold of us. So originally I had order return over here, and let's see where that have under the menus. So I changed that up a little bit, and I'll show you. Instead of having 3 menus up there, instead of return, tracking, and all that kind of stuff, we decided to do it this way, to where a customer guarantee is offered, because they spent a lot of time. I'm sorry, I'm going to put my headphones in, and make sure let me know you guys can still hear me clearly, because I've had some questions with the headphones, some issues with it. So if you have any issues hearing me, let me know. So what I would advise is this: as far as your menus, I would keep it short and sweet. Want to know, and if some of you have preloaded campaigns, there might have been this really long return policy for some reason that was included. Make sure you customize it to your own, okay? And for some reason we had a really long one in there, and I didn't even look at it because I was so concentrated on the other stuff, I didn't even look at it. And so when you ended up noticing it, it was just this huge, long, drawn-out thing. So what I did is I decided to just call this a customer guarantee. And since they were clicking on this stuff anyway, normally it said return policy or returns / tracking or whatever. It's really no sense of had anything to do with tracking up here, because they don't even have a tracking number yet at this point. So I would probably use customer guarantee or customer quality guarantee, and then a contact us. And I'll show you what I did as far as this. I inserted this image up here. And what I wanted to do, as far as what we're doing, what Randy wants to offer, is a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee, okay? And here is the text that I used. If you receive a damaged or incorrect product, we will replace your item or refund your money with no questions asked. Again, this is up to you guys and how you want to handle it. I think this is probably the best thing to do in order to build that trust. So I kind of make sure I bolded some of the things. We do not require you to ship your product back to us. Contact us at support@planetmet.com, or whatever your support is there, and make sure that if you're using short code for this, that it's actually working. On this particular site, I had to find out why, but when we went up here, I had that support short code email support, and it actually showed up like this. So I didn't realize that until later. So that probably looked really silly to them as they were reading it. So make sure that you just have your support address in there, okay? And then I put this, and depending on your claim, we may ask you to provide an attached picture of the item defect in your email supporting your claim. So basically, just I want to let them know you're going to get your money back. Even like really, it's up to you guys. But obviously, if it's an item defect, or if it's if the printing came out really bad, or if it's the wrong color or something, that whatever happens, no problem. But you don't have to even send it back to us. You don't have to go, we're going to either replace your item or we're going to refund your money. But depending on your claim, if there's like a hole, or if they say it was the wrong color and you see that they ordered black and they did get a purple, you can always ask them. You want to make sure that they're not just getting another shirt. So you can say, we're going to give you your money back. You don't have to send it back. But we may ask you just to send a picture supporting your claim of whatever the defect may be. And I think with that, that obviously builds a lot of trust. If they know that, okay, they're really concentrating on making sure that I'm happy, even if there's something wrong, there's no questions asked. We do, you know, if people know that they don't have to take the time to like, okay, how is the returns going to be? Because obviously on a personalized shirt, you don't need to send them back, especially if it's something that Printex might have done, or just, you know, an accident here or there. It's going to happen, but they don't need that shirt back. So why you know, send them through a whole thing of, you know, you have to ship it back. So if they know they don't have to ship it back, this is great. And then something really sweet at the end. That's it. We'll guarantee your satisfaction. You know, we probably blah, blah, blah. 99% of our customers are highly satisfied with the product. We know that sometimes things happen, but we'll make sure that you receive the utmost care and service, okay? And obviously you don't want them, you know, I would suggest a 30-day policy. You know, after 30 days, if they don't contact you, like, there's really nothing you can do. So, and then on the next menu, I just simple contact us. Make sure your email is right. And, you know, I put, you know, email us. We try to get back prompt response, but please allow up to a maximum of 24 hours for our support team to respond. So, almost every person that came to the page clicked on this. Sometimes they clicked on it before they even read this. So make sure that you guys, like I added this little graphic up here, make sure that you guys have this stuff. Make sure it's good, it's going to appeal to them, it's going to build trust, it's going to make them comfortable with going down here and starting to fill out the page, okay? So those are two other changes that I made. I took out that product description up top, and I ended up putting, let's see, I'll go back to the columns here. So after that right column 3 where we had step 4, right column 4 was that guaranteed safe and secure checkout. This is just simple text. You can see where it ends up right here, right underneath the add to cart. And then right column 5 was that buyer verified reviews stars, okay? And you can see where that ends up. So the way I have this set up now, it looked really good on mobile. It all flowed really well, and we had quite a few visitors from mobile, and in a few of our, I would say probably 70% of the checkouts that we had, probably 6 or 7 out of, you know, the ones that we had from the ads came from mobile. So you just really, this way, if you set it up exactly how I have it here, you should have no problem. And then in the left column 1 is where you want to put click the thumbnail to select your item. And then underneath that is where I put the product description shortcode. So that will take it straight from your funnel or your regular products or your funnel products. So whatever your description is in there, that's where it will show up right underneath there. Over here, like I said, you want to make sure they go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and add to cart. And then they can kind of look over here. And you'll see how people actually, you'll see every time they click or search on a page, you'll see. In here, in the footer single column, this is where we put that, this is where we put those images here. And like I said, if you are interested in those, I included these. But what I'm going to have to do is add to that Dropbox, and I'll do it after the call. I'll actually take the code here, and Matthew explains when you upload those images into your own media library where you change the URL, and also this code here will make it show up exactly like it does here with that going across. So I will insert that code into the Dropbox folder that I shared with you guys, and you'll just have to change your image URLs once you upload them to your site. Okay, so that's in the footer single column, and then really in the footer left and the footer right, in the full width we have nothing, campaign content, and then obviously this is where we just went over the customer guarantee stuff. Okay, the rest is, you know, I included some of these images if you wanted the no thank you button, the add to cart blue button, and all that kind of stuff. The rest is pretty much standard stuff that you guys should know about and how to set up your campaign. So that is your front end campaign. Okay. What I did notice, and I wish I would have changed or maybe tried something different, but I wanted to test the jewelry, is that the ones that did convert, this came up really nicely, and most of them, you know, kind of X'd out of here, and I wish I would have probably started with a coffee mug, but I wanted to see the jewelry. Maybe a coffee mug would have been a little bit more inexpensive, and maybe could have, you know, maybe appealed to them. I did not get any upsells with that, which was kind of a bummer. But you know, some of them looked at it, some of them took the time, and I realized that, you know, a lot of times they just kind of X'd out, which they didn't even get to the next funnel thing. So I was maybe change your image or your product. You know, it's kind of just depends on your design. But I think what I'm going to do is on some of the retargeting stuff that I'm going to run ads on, targeting ads, I'm going to change up this, and I'm going to add the coffee mug and see if that does any better. So I realized that they kind of weren't interested in the necklace, which is fine. I learned that, and so I maybe, you know, try another product, maybe a pillowcase or a coffee mug or something like that. So that's just what I came across when I tested the design. That doesn't mean that that's going to happen with you on whatever design you're running. But again, so if you are going to be running a funnel campaign, which I advise you definitely try setting all these up in regular campaigns and then copying them over. Give me one second, I'm going to take a drink here. This is a little bit different. So you can see, again, we went over this last week. I won't spend a lot of time on this. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. You're telling them your latest t-shirt is complete, and we will send you a confirmation email shortly. So obviously, in right column 1, that's where you want this, okay? Want to make sure that if you are running a funnel campaign, that this is very important, that they know that their order is coming. And then I just kind of came up with, know you're a proud grandma. While you're here, you can add this awesome, super cute matching necklace with just a few clicks. Okay, now the difference on this one is, again, limited edition. I didn't want to go too much like description here. I wanted to let them know the regular price, $24.95. Today's price is whatever you feel comfortable with. I went with $19.95, knowing that on my downsell I was going to take it down, I think, to $14.95, so still make a few bucks. And I was giving them free shipping. So and a few different changes here. So after all of that, you see that all comes up right about here, free shipping, made in the USA. And then again, you got to let them know, because you want to make sure if this is a personalized design, exactly what to do. Enter your grandma nickname, step 1. And I should probably have step in here. I'll start adding those. So step 1, you know, enter your grandma nickname. On this one, now you're going to put that right beneath the form button, right beneath that, okay? Because you don't have to do anything like not to click any on the necklaces or like a pillowcase or a coffee mug. You don't have to click any different product images. Usually, you just want on this one, you just want one product, one image. You don't want to have to mess around with them trying to, you know, do other things, unless if it is a shirt. If it is like maybe like a youth shirt or something that Matthew kind of explained, then, you know, obviously these steps will change. But if you're just offering one extra product on your first upsell, I would just go with step 1. If it's, you know, a personalized thing, tell them what to do, hit the preview button next to it, put your % form right there, and this is all in right column 1. Now on this one, since it's just a necklace, step 2 is actually where they're going to click the round side, select the size in the drop down. Again, this is still confusing to somebody. To me it is, because it says select size, $19.95, and then it has round, you know, and that's how I named it in my product. And so on this one, I actually just have it step 2, where I didn't have to go through and put it in the size description, but I'm making sure that they know, until we get this fixed, click whatever you name this, round necklace or round, that they understand that if they do, or they are interested in this, that they know that they have to click in this box and select this, okay? I saw a lot of this, you know, a lot of this kind of stuff on the front end campaign, so we're in the process of making sure we can make this much more optimized, much easier for people to understand, and a lot less confusing. Okay, so until that happens, I wanted to make sure that you guys know how I set it up, was to have that step 2 right here in the right column 1. Okay, and then moving down, nothing in right column 2. Right column 3 now is where I have my, since we're down one step, is click the add to my order button below. Now remember, you have to change that because it's different from this one where it's add to cart. This one is add to my order. So you want to make sure that you change that copy. And I have this in right column 3. Click you can even put blue if you want. add to my order button, or whatever color you guys are using. I know a lot of you are using orange or whatever it is, or if you, whatever you guys are using, you just want to make sure you change that on this first upsell. Okay, nothing in right column 4, nothing in right column 5, and then left column 1. And since there's no click to view images, I have my product description right beneath it there. Okay, so that's in left column 1 on this one. So again, make sure you have your really good description, especially on something like jewelry, so that way they can see what it's all about on this page. And this one, since you don't have a header, you want to definitely make sure you have this over here, because there's really nothing up here that they can go and see. Okay, and since they've already kind of saw your customer satisfaction stuff and all this on the front end, more than likely when they're on here, that's why you don't really need a header. You just want to use your notification banner up here, take off your header, and make it very, very simple. This looks really good on mobile also. So I did a purchase on mobile. The videos, they clicked out so quickly I wouldn't have time, but I was able to pause the video and see how it looked, and it looked really good. Okay, and so again, just as all this stays the same with the footer stuff. And if you don't know exactly where to take off the header, it's under the page styling, right underneath the no thanks image. You can just have no header here, and I would suggest doing that and just using your notification banner. Okay. So again, you have to make sure you change this on your upsell to add to my order button, not to add to my cart button. And the rest is kind of is pretty standard stuff here. Again, this was explained in the video, and I wanted to go over with you guys again. And I'm glad Matthew kind of brought this up in the video, because if you are running a campaign, and what we kind of thought about, what Matthew thought about, is that what we decided to do is that after somebody purchased, let's just say they purchased here, and they hit the add to cart button, and they check out. Now normally that's going to bring them right to this next upsell. Okay, so it would take them to a thank you page where your pixel would fire. Okay, what we saw a lot was if they don't hit that no thank you button, and takes them to the thank you page, and if they just X out, which I saw pretty much the majority of people do, that pixel is probably not going to fire because it's not hitting your thank you page, right? So what we decided to do on this one is that if you're running a campaign, if you're running a single campaign, we kind of took it out of the business settings, the purchase pixel here, okay, and we put it in the retarget analytics on your retargeting pixel in this box here on your upsell campaign, because they're obviously going to hit that right away no matter what. So right after they hit, after they complete their order, it's taking them to this page. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure that if it takes them to that page, that Facebook is recording that instead of normally a thank you page. It's going to record that as a purchase. Okay, so remember though, once you take it out of your business settings, it's kind of, and you put this in here, it's really only applying to that campaign. So you got to make sure if you duplicate campaigns, or if you're doing other campaigns, you got to kind of keep track of where your pixel is. But I ended up doing that, and I'm glad we did that, because that's how it recorded most of those conversions. Is because most of the women that came, they just kind of X'd out once they realized that they got that they already made the purchase and everything was all good, because they still get the email right away, but they just kind of X out of it. So Matthew explains this in the video for a little bit longer, more in-depth explanation and exactly how you do it. It's under bonus video. I think it's lesson 12 maybe, but make sure you check that out if you guys are running. Now this is only for funnel campaigns, okay? So that is really, really important, and if you want your pixel to be firing right and getting the best data that you can back in your ads reporting, you want to make sure that you have this on this part of your campaign if you're running an upsell campaign. Okay, so that's kind of it here. Again, pretty simple stuff. I'm just going to kind of go over this slowly, so in case you guys are want to kind of copy this verbatim, you can. and then you can kind of pause videos and stuff like that when we have it in the members area. You can kind of see exactly how we did it here. Okay, so pretty simple stuff. And then obviously now what I did is I set up, which I didn't get anybody to this page that I saw. This was the downsell in my campaign, in my funnel campaign. Okay, again, if they didn't like maybe they liked the necklace, but they just didn't like the price, I knocked off another $5 here. And again, wasn't the price, we just knocked off a huge discount. This is a one-time offer, now only $14.95. And again, with this, it's kind of the same as the last campaign. You can pretty much copy everything from your upsell to this, is everything kind of stays the same, especially if it's just jewelry. Enter your gram in the box below, click the preview button, and then, like you said, on step 4, I said, click the add to my order button, order to you with free shipping. So if you do offer free shipping, make sure you take the shipping price out of your funnel products. Okay, so if we go through this, this is the downsell, the last chance one. It's pretty much the same thing. We just changed the copy a little bit in right column 1, and telling them, okay, this is a one-time offer. If that was too much for you, here, get it now for only $14.95. Whatever you think makes sense. Obviously, that's up to you. You gotta. I forgot what the profit margin on the necklace was. I think it was like, what is it, like $8 or something it costs, but really up to you. So if you're not doing shipping and you're knocking the price off, you just want to make sure it makes sense. But again, hopefully you get some upsells there, whether it's on a necklace or a pillowcase or something like that. So even a few bucks here and there is definitely going to help your bottom line. So again, in right column 3, you want to put to where add to cart and stuff like that. I want to make sure I go back and update some of this stuff because I know I've changed some stuff. And again, so that's your that is on this one. I did put the select size here, and so you just want to make sure, again, a lot of people clicking on that, trying to figure it out, especially on the front end. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to make sure that that's much easier for people. If you guys are watching your Hotjar videos, let me know if that seems to be an issue, or if you're seeing any issues on your campaigns with people trying to convert. We need to have as much information and feedback from you as possible. This is why I'm starting to run a lot of these tests and a lot of these shirts. I'm going to be running another one this week on one of the new designs, and I'm going to be using kind of the same. I'm going to switch some things around, some products, but really the most information that we can get back from our users from the videos is how you're going to realize what to go in here and change. It was no coincidence that I spent a bunch of money. I wouldn't say a bunch of money, but I spent some money in the beginning because I was trying to find out the interest. Once I knocked down the interest that I didn't need, I saw the videos of people coming there, and I was getting so frustrated because they were on the page and they were there and they seemed interested, and I was losing them. So until I went in and saw exactly what the issues were, I was able to go through and correct some of these small things and actually get some conversions and make our money back on some of the people that that kind of left. So hopefully we can get those people again through some retargeting ads. Make sure that you are setting up your retargeting ads for your campaign, and I'll definitely have a ton of videos on that. And again, I will make sure that before I get off here, or as soon as I get off, I will add the code for this stuff, for these footers down here. You just got to make it a little bit of a darker color so they can see it, because it's all white text here. Yes.
Hey, just to jump in, something Greg and I were looking at that campaign. I don't know if he mentioned anything to you. We were talking about optimizing.
Mm-hmm.
Get your thoughts. So, looking at that, wouldn't it be much more clear if step 1 was enter your grandma's name, and then below, after you enter it, step 2, click the small image?
And I think that happens, but I think what happens is if you do that, it kind of resets. So I think what happens is if they have to, it's easier for them to click, because if they enter in a name and then they click another shirt, I guess you could probably do it either way, but what I'm seeing a lot is as soon as they do that, this grandma nickname doesn't stay in there anymore, and even though it may be on the shirts, it totally refreshes and the nickname goes away, and it seemed to confuse them a little bit.
Okay.
That's, I think it could probably work each way, but from what I saw, because I did think about that, is when they click, and maybe that could be something that we talk to the dev team about too, is that if they're clicking on either one of these, making sure that that nickname stays in there, because what I saw is they saw that their nickname went away and they tried to do the whole process all over again.
Gotcha.
Even though it was on the shirt, and it was in the URL, so if this was Nana, okay, and I hit preview.
Yep.
Oops. Oh, I can't do that because I'm in the actual funnel. You can't preview it. But do you understand what I'm saying? Is that right. Once they...
Yep. We might have to get the developers looking into that, but...
Yeah, exactly. So this goes away, and it confused the crap out of them. And even though that like the URL had it right, and if they would have finished up, it would have still been right, they thought that since it went away in the box that they lost it.
So do you think that maybe there's a solution by getting the developers to be able to hang on to that longer, or figure out why they're doing it? Is that what we ought to discuss?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we need to discuss. That was going to be in kind of my document to you guys about some of the with some of the videos I saw in supporting that. That was definitely one of the issues. And again, the select size box I think just needs to be fixed up a little bit, and I think that can help tremendously. Like you said, and what we kind of explain in the training too, is that the less clicks they have to do is the better chance of conversions. And so if they're clicking around and they're coming back to this box trying to type their name in again and hit preview, and before you only have so much time to keep these people engaged and to actually add to cart.
Yep. Hey, I see some questions in here. Tina's jumping in where she's and she's on the development team and stuff like that, or on the beta thing. And she's had some issues in addressing that. First of all, thank you, Tina. You are very helpful in finding these pain points, and thanks for all you do. I did go over some of your questions with Matthew today, and he said that he did reach out to the developers, and a lot of those are being addressed. And I'm hoping by the end of the day that they've solved a lot of those things. So thanks for all you do, and thanks for pointing these things out and staying honest.
Absolutely. Another thing I forgot to mention, guys, is making sure you have your testimonials too. So whether they're popping up in the notifier or whatever, or even having them down here. But again, as much as we're preaching about changing this and making sure that they understand that they have there should be no problem with their ordering. And just with that, like I said, like that kind of demographic with grandmothers and stuff, like my mother-in-law, for instance, I know that's the first thing she looks at. I mean, she wants to make sure that if she buys something, she can return it if she doesn't like it. And so that's what we kind of saw, with those videos, is that before they even jumped into buying something, they were, okay, this looks great and all, but what happens if I don't like it? Or this actually kind of lets them know, is this legit? How are they speaking to me in this? And they spent a long time in here. So again, do your best to make sure that you're letting them know that they're covered and that you're bringing all their fears and all, making them feel at ease to make this purchase. Okay, that's it. That's all I had for you guys as far as going through. I wanted to make sure that I spent some time in making sure that you can see some of the copy if that's how you want to do it. I know that that was kind of a need last week. I kind of go through questions here, and I know Randy wanted to kind of jump in and kind of give everyone an update too on some things. So Randy, if you're still there, if you want to do that, I'll kind of go through some of these questions.
No, I will, and I tell you what. First, I'm going to do. I got a list from Matthew. Updated me some things that the developers are working in this next upgrade. They should fix a lot of it. The placeholder, flat rate shipping, set supplier on import page, upsell thumbs in the cart, bill me feature plugin. That's where we can change the shopping cart to a bill me and eliminate the credit card where some people might need that. Linked to the training. So what we want to have is underneath each item, like say campaigns or products, where you can click on that, take you right to the video. Status, have Stripe as the default for the funnels and stuff. The bug on the manually personalized products. These are all things that are being checked off right now, by the way.
Okay.
Shipping banner name to notification banner. Change default word search on the button for personalized campaigns. News page. you know, percent form, percent button, color control, text as typed on personalization, New Zealand shipping, emails not sending from webmail accounts, blog featured image not working, PayPal option in cart, duplicate orders, thank you page, Hotjar issues, business settings not saving, conversion pixels on thank you page, manual personalization file upload, the cart countries, shipping and cart. All those are on this list that they're working on cleaning up right now, just so you know.
Awesome. That's great.
Big list. So yeah, anyways, just a quick update. I do plan on having the registration set up by Thursday, but we are having the event here in Hannibal, April 21st, 22nd, 23rd. It's going to be really a focus on Photoshop. So a little bit of the agenda is, you know, you can come in here Thursday night. Things are set up at the Best Western for that rate again. It's $65.95 a night. The event will be here at Printex, though. We have much better internet. We've got a setup here, and we're going to keep it to 10 people at the most, so that it's a little more hands-on, because we really want to be able to spend as much time with you on Photoshop training. And we're going to have it here in the lobby where everybody will be hardwired on the internet, so we'll have a faster internet. And then we've got a projector for what we can share much easier than what we experienced at the hotel. So that'd be an improvement. But on Friday, we're going to spend more time this time on looking at products too, with the sublimation and all of the sign products that we've added with the Hometown Sign Company that we bought for anything from decals to wine glasses and all those other products that we've been adding. We're going to spend a little more time on Friday showing you how things come together and what you can do with those items. And then we're going to get right into Photoshop. And the focus is going to be on helping you go out and grab images, manipulate those images to build products, to create testimonials, to create Facebook ads, and we're going to work hard on that.
Okay, cool.
Several people already signed up, so we're committed to that. I think we have about 4 so far that have made the commitment, and again, we've got room for 10.
Awesome. I think that would be great. There is a couple other questions coming in here. I'm actually trying to add that code into this text edit while you were talking, Randy, but so that way I can put it in a Dropbox for you guys.
One question is the next beginner session at Printex. We will spend time if you really need just help on building your product and setting up some campaigns and not so much Photoshop. We can, you know, carve you away and give you some personal attention on that. So if in April you want to do that, even though it's really more of a Photoshop session, where people are focused on Photoshop and you just really need help on building a product and building a campaign, I do have people here that can work one-on-one with you doing that. So this event will work for those as well. And I tell you what else would be nice, and like every event, is the opportunity, especially in the evening, to network with other marketers and learn about their business and how they're doing it. And a couple of exciting things you might like. And those that were here, you know, down there at the coffee shop in Hannibal, Katie Ayers, she's running a brick and mortar business with her coffee shop. She's been working with us and getting her site up. She's going to be here, and she can kind of share with you, as somebody that has owned and operated a business for a while, how this is fitting in with her. And somebody else that's excited, and he's made the commitment. I'm pretty sure he'll be here, but Art used to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. I've known Art for a few years, and Art's trying to build his brand and his image, and he and I and Stanley are working together with the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, and so he's, you know, got a site going and trying to do that, but he'll have a lot of fun things to talk about his business as well. So these are great networking things that everybody benefits from.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, that's going to be great. I know, like I said before, big need. So thanks, Randy, for that update. If you guys have any other
question, in place of Photoshop, can we use GIMP and some of these others? I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I don't want to waste your time and money if what we're teaching on Photoshop does not relate to it. I don't have a good answer on that. So
If I can just, yeah, if I can
come and use those products, and maybe it will translate, but I don't want to mislead you.
Yeah, I mean, GIMP is just, I mean, to me, GIMP is like a toy compared to Photoshop. It's free, but Photoshop's only $10 a month. I mean, use the real tool. I mean, you don't go to a mechanic and see them using a 99-cent screwdriver from the dollar store. You know, they're going to use a real tool, and that Photoshop is a real tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Adobe made it very easy to afford now. I know that like I was just saying, I actually I switched I bought a new laptop this past weekend, and I went from using a Mac. I'm back onto a Windows, and so the original Photoshop that I had was kind of put on there by a friend of mine a few years back. He kind of took it and had it, and so I wasn't able to transfer that over. So I signed up for it just the other day, and actually, obviously the $10 a month is not that big of a deal, but I'm actually glad I did, because you get all the updates with it. I mean, mine was a little bit outdated, so having that Photoshop, and if you're paying the $10 a month, like I said, all the updates will come, and you'll continue to stay ahead of the game as far as that's concerned, and you won't ever have to worry about like they used to do, where you buy one version for so many hundreds of dollars, and then all of a sudden another version would come out. So definitely worth the investment. I have a couple questions. If you don't have from Jeff and Vicky, if you don't have a no thanks button, what alternative do they have to X out? Well, you definitely want to have some sort of no thanks button. I put that in the Dropbox there. I think I'll make sure I put it in there. Yeah, so otherwise, if you don't have anything, they're just going to X out. But you really want to try to have it there, so that way, because if they do hit that no thanks button, that's going to take them to the thank you page. And then that's, if you don't have, if you have your pixels still kind of set up the normal way in your business settings, you want to make sure that they have some way to get to the thank you page, or else your pixel probably won't fire if you're doing a funnel campaign, okay? Now, obviously, if you're doing a normal campaign, you don't have to worry about a no thanks button, but if you're doing a funnel campaign where they have an opportunity to X out, you want to use something. So if you don't necessarily like the one I put in Dropbox, you can find something different. Just make sure it's kind of similar size there. This one's from Joanne. Has anyone, and I haven't heard of this, so if Kevin or anybody else heard of it, let me know. Has anyone added the snake chain to their campaign, and if so, where are you putting it as an option?
I've seen the snake chain. It looks really cool, but no, I have not. I don't have one. I've not picked one up. I don't have an answer for you. I haven't used it.
Okay.
It's that thicker chain that Kerry was showing, and it's kind of articulated throughout it. It looks really cool.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hey, here's a question on does the hotel allow for dogs? I'll ask that. I'll get with them. We think it does, but I'll confirm it. Yeah.
I like my answer better. Just don't tell them.
Yeah. They're going to let Kevin in. They'll let anything in.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm smellier than the dog.
Okay, so yeah, Jeff, Vicky, we're a little bit. Thanks only shows up when you're actually in the funnel, correct? So it's you can't see it in the preview mode until they actually check out and then are brought through there. So that's where they see the no thanks. So that's probably where you're a little confused. Yeah, I was a little confused on that too. I wanted to make sure, but a few of the conversions we did have, I was able to see that on the video. So everything seemed to be working just fine. Yeah, Carl. So Carl seconds that about making sure that the nickname should stay in the box, even if they click out of it or click another product. So yeah, we will definitely talk to them about that. Let's see, from Lois, can Printex do personally designed fabric by the yard? I don't know.
I don't know what you're looking for there. No, I mean if it's fabric where you would cut and sew it, I'm able to print a 64-inch square sublimation on 100% polyester. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but I tell you something that we've added is the wall art. So with the sign company, probably by the middle of April, we will have that up and rolling where you can go out and you can sell the wall art, and that is, basically printed on canvas. I don't know if that's what you're asking for, but that's what we'll be doing.
Oh yeah, Randy. I don't know if you were on. Somebody had asked about about the canvas shoes. Is that still anything that you looked into or not, or if there's any update on that?
No, not for us. I think with the Chinese tennis shoes, that's working for some people. I know that it's a challenge from customer service. We can't compete with Chinese shoes. We can do direct-to-garment Converse canvas shoes, but they're not cheap. I don't know that we're a really good fit in there.
Okay.
I mean, that's not a business that I would personally go after. Just from I remember when Fives was selling knockoff canvas shoes. They had so many size issues. The customer service at Fives was saying they had a 30% return rate. So that's not a business I was even interested in looking at from when they were selling them. And they were selling them from here in the United States, but they were selling Chinese knockoffs of the Converse shoes, and they had so many size issues. It was a disaster. I mean, if they're telling you that they have a 30% return rate, what was their real return rate?
Right. So Joanne, I see your other question here. Get with me after the webinar, and I can probably talk to you about maybe the issue that you're having. And so, yeah, get with me on that, Joanne. I see that about the transparent background on certain things. So I'll try to probably be much easier to explain one-on-one there. Oh, okay. Randy, is there an actual sign up? Is there an actual link to the April event, or how are they signing up for that?
There will be. By Thursday, we'll have the sign up there, and I'll have the really a more formal agenda, and then we'll drop it in the Skype group. We do have a Hannibal T-Rex Skype group. We'll keep everything there, and in the T-Rex help, and then in the group we'll have it as well. And then we'll get more information. We'll drop it in on the call on Thursday.
Cool. Okay. We have one other question before we hop off here. Let's see. Converting artwork to, or paintings types to like T-shirts. Where'd that go? Let's see.
I just said Photoshop works wonders. If you take a high enough resolution photograph of it, you can put it into Photoshop and manipulate it.
Yeah, I know there's some settings in Photoshop. I don't know off the top of my head where you can even you can take that and do that. And if you want to make even like designs look like paintings and kind of cool stuff, you can even do that in Photoshop too. There's some simple.
Oh, you can do some great stuff with artwork like that, especially on the all over sublimation prints.
Yeah. Yeah, a good photograph will do great in Photoshop with that. You can adjust the colors and everything and make sure that it looks right in Photoshop.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, it's 2 o'clock Eastern time, so we're just about our hour. I'll have this uploaded for you guys soon. If you have any questions, let us know in Skype or in the Facebook group. And I'm hoping to, like I said, I know we mentioned this last week, and so I'm hoping to get some really cool guest speakers for you soon. And I'll keep you updated on that because we're going to want to promote that, make sure that you guys have enough advance to when we start getting some some guest speakers, so I'll keep you more updated on that. I hope this was helpful. Let us know if you need anything else. Like I said, just tag us in Facebook or in Skype, and we'll try to get to you as soon as we can. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you guys soon, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, thanks, guys.